All right, so I'm going to install VCV Rack and the VCV Rack SDK and get all of my development environment set up. Uh, well, it's a little bit scary for me because before I made this video, I deleted everything. I just deleted it all, except of course the code in my repositories. Um, I think everything's completely empty right now for my computer. And setting up Rack the first time with the development environment was so difficult. I guess I'm gonna subject myself to it again. So here we go. I don't even know where to start. I'm gonna pull open my browser, I guess, and go check out VCV Rack. I'll Google for VCV Rack development tutorial. All right, so what do we got at VCV Rack? We got a lot of prerequisites. And I know the most important part of this really is, oh, okay, let's first download and install VCV Rack. And then the next part is setting up the build environment, which it's just one little sentence here, but that's most of the pain. Da, 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 Rack 2, get Rack 2. And I think I've got a pro license, but we'll just get the free one because I don't need any of the VST stuff. So Windows, I'm on Windows 10. Go ahead and save file. Great. And install it. That's interesting. We're gonna allow it, run anyway. Oh, Windows Defender is bugging me. It's in the background. You can't really see it from, oh, there we go. And it's, yes, I do want it to be able to make changes. And it's asking me the install location. I have a second monitor, which is kind of my primary monitor, which is why I have to drag stuff over. And yeah, let's install. Sure, let's launch. I have to drag it over again. This is a little bit sketchy because my other monitor is a lot larger. So okay, we got it. Oh, all right. And let's see if my modules are in there. Oh, my modules are in there. Oh, of course, they're part of the library now. So that shouldn't be a big surprise to me. Next thing I'm going to do is, I guess, continue following the tutorial. So let's close this up. Go back to my prerequisites. Set up your build environment. Let's open that in a new window here. Windows. If you have an antivirus program running, disable it, or it may interfere with the build process or make builds very slow. I do not. Install MSys2 and launch Ming W64 shell from the start menu, not the default MSys. And this is a big one. Okay, before I continue, I'm going to pause the video because I'm going to go uninstall MSys2 so I can reinstall it for the video. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I've uninstalled MSys2 so I can reinstall it and go through all the pain. MSys2, blah, 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 installation. Download the installer. Save it. Okay, it took a second to download. Let's go ahead and run it. And waiting, there we go. Okay. So next, folder selection. You can see part of their installation instructions say short ASCII only pass on an NTFS volume, no accents, no spaces, no fun, no subset, no parties. So we're just going to leave it in MSys64, even though that's kind of weird. It's right on the root, but sure. And then shortcuts, whatever, installing. I hit pause for a second. Okay, it's installed. It says run MSys 64-bit now, so I'll hit finish. and it's going to pop open with MSys. And this is bad. This is exactly what they told me not to do. Don't run MSys. Said run Ming 32 something something. So not the default MSys shell. Install MSys and launch the Ming 64-bit shell from the start menu. Very important because it kind of prompts you like it's like, hey, how about MSys? And you're like, nope, exit. So I'm going to go to my start menu. I'm going to look for MSys. I found it. You can't see it on the screen, but it's this purple thing. I'm going to drag it. Oops, I made the same mistake twice. Going to look for Ming. There we go. It's blue, not purple. Uh, Let me take a screen capture so you can see real quick. This is what I'm seeing when I type in Ming on my start menu. Oh, come on, snag it. All right. So there it is. That's what showed up. That's what you actually want to click on. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Drag that over. There, that's what we want. Okay, cool. Just got that far. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. I'll be right back. All right, jumping right back into it. We're going to go ahead and type what they told me to. pacman.syu. And yes, I think I do. Whatever. Oh, I didn't read it, just disappeared. Okay, well, that's fine. It says then restart the shell and install packages. So again, I'm going to search for the word Ming, find it in my Windows, open up the Ming 3060.4, and then I'm going to do this big old thing. I'm going to copy it in, paste, and enter. Is this right? Yeah. Yes. So out of curiosity, what is it doing? Get wget, make, tar, unzip. So those are all different types of utilities. Zip, GCC is the compiler. Some stuff I don't understand. And looks like Python is going to be installed. And other things I don't understand. That's fine. All right, almost there. So then what? I guess that's done with setting up my development environment. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh no, okay, that was just a Windows part. Now I have to, oh, you do not need to build Rack if to build plugins if you use the Rack SDK. Okay, so I do want to use the Rack SDK. I think it's just easier in general. So I guess then I would skip this. So this is a little unclear. Let me go back to the plugin tutorial. Oh, here it is. Okay, set up your build environment, download the latest Rack SDK, and extract. This file contains the Rack API headers and build system for compiling your plugin. Okay, let's make sure that MSys did its thing. Oh, it's still working. All right, I'm going to pause for a second until this is done. All right, so this is still going. It's been quite a bit of time, probably about 5 minutes. Seems like forever. But I want to take this time just to kind of mention one other thing. I was working with another person who I was trying to help get up and running. That's one of the reasons that I'm making this video. And he was asked, like, what about Git? You know, how does Git hook into all this? He didn't really understand what Git was, I don't believe. Git comes up a lot when you're reading about this type of stuff. Git's sort of like Google Drive for software developers. It's got revisions and it's good for teams. But you don't have to use Git to get started. It's highly recommended though, because you do want to kind of keep your code someplace safe that if your computer crashes and you don't lose all your work. But technically, if you are already overwhelmed by the amount of technology involved, you can get started at first and then try to pick up Git immediately after. You do need to have Git able to, oh, there we go, submit your module to the user library. Um, but just to get started, I don't think we're going to need it. All right, I went ahead and where was I? Set up my build environment. Download the latest Rack SDK. Ah, yeah, okay, here's where I was. Oh, hold on one sec. I got myself confused. Did I do that step already? Did the Pac-Man, the exit. Okay, so this was part of my setup development environment. Okay, cool. So I haven't gone and got the SDK yet. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna open this up in a new window. Oh yeah, this is terrible. They're like, here you go. Why don't you go and figure out what the latest Rack SDK is? And we're just gonna list out a bunch of crazy stuff, and you're gonna have to figure it out. So, uh, hmm, I guess I'm looking for something where in the word SDK in it. All right, I got that far. And I see that there's Windows, Linux, and Mac stuff. Great. And there's version numbers. We've got 2, 2.06, 2.0. All right, so far I'm thinking the newest one is this 2.06 win.zip for me. It was created on the 15th of 2022. I don't see anything newer than that. Down here there's some stuff, but those are just Rack itself. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty convinced now that I found the right one. Well, that's 2001. So where was I again? 2.06 WinZip. Great. Click on it, I suppose. And then save. Okay, that was easy. Now what? Where was I? Okay, restart, install packages, building rack? No. Sorry, guys. I'm easily distracted. It looks like I've got two of the same thing. Open. This contains the rack API headers and build system for compiling your plugin. And extract. Okay, great. But it doesn't tell you where to extract it. And that's not cool, right? Just like, yeah, you know what to do. So what I'm gonna do is, I think I got a folder on my computer called C, code. I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Here, it's got some stuff in it. Nothing that's rack related right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull that zip file over from my download folder. I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to unzip it. And I think the only thing that's kind of important here is that uh, the the path to my code folder is pretty simple. I don't think you're going to want spaces or weird characters in there. And that's one of the reasons it's like C code. It's very top level, easy to access. Kind of sometimes those other characters throw things off. So let's go ahead and get my download. This is what I wanted. Great, okay. And then I want to, oof, come on, computer. Extract here? There we go. Okay, great. So we have C colon rack SDK, and I followed the directions. Let's close these up. Download the latest rack SDK and extract. Check. This contains the rack API headers and build system from compiler plugin in your terminal. Run this export thing. Great. Let's go ahead and do that. Where's my terminal? Here it is. And I want to say export rack dir equals C colon code rack SDK. Hold on, I got to take a look at it again. C code. Okay, capital rack dash SDK. Great. Didn't do anything. I mean, it probably did do something, but it didn't complain. No error messages. You may wish to add this line to your bash, RC, or other shell environment, so you don't have to define it every time you open a terminal. This can actually be a little bit tricky on Windows. Uh, Lately, I've just been typing this in every time. I've got it usually in my history of the things I type in, so it's easy to get to. Just don't want to worry about it. But if you want to do this, go for it. You might have to Google some to get it working. So creating the template plugin. All right, let's go ahead and just keep following their instructions. The helper PY script included in the Rack SDK is an easy way to create a plugin template. You can run it with no arguments to show documentation. Choose a slug for your plugin, a unique string containing letters, numbers, dash, underscore. We will use my plugin for the tutorial. Okay, great. So I'm going to go back here. Uh, what is that Ractor? What is this? Okay, I'm just going to type in what they say. Helper.py create plugin my plugin. Oops. Plugin. There's no uppercase there. My plugin. Plugin name. Version. I'm just hitting enter. License. Enter. Brand. Prefix for all module names. So we want to give this a brand name, and we're going to call it. Um, I probably should have had this thing figured out before I got here. Uh, Onyx. ONYX. We're going to call us Onyx Modular. Author, whatever. Enter, 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 enter. Okay, create a template plugin in my plugin using master as the name for the initial branch. So it is actually getting Git involved right now. It created a new branch for us. Initialize your empty Git repository in home clone myplugin.git. Home clone myplugin git. Okay. You may use make blah 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 blah. Okay. Oh, real quick note here. So they say you may use make clean, make disk, make install, etc. in the plugin directory. When you use usually you probably use make install because that's going to build your module and install it into the right spot in VCV Rack so it should show up. Make this is usually when you want to create like a distribution module, package that you could give to a friend or something. And I've never really made make or make clean, so I don't know what those do. All right, back to the tutorial. To test your build system, you may run make in the plugin directory. Okay, the plugin directory. So is that in home clone my plugin? It does look like it is. I typed ls for list, and it's probably in the source. So what we've got here is some sort of makefile thing. We've got the plugin.json that's basically telling Rack, hey, there's a plugin here. RES is your resource folder. It's where you put your front panels and your artwork, and source is where your source for the plugin generally resides. So let's go ahead and let's just type in make. They tell us to do that right here in the instructions. Okay, great. So, I'm going down to creating panels. For each module you wish to create, follow the panel guide to design an SVG panel graphic. For this tutorial, we'll create a module with the slug my_module and a panel file my_module.svg. Save this file to the resource directory and run helper py create module my_module res my_module thing. That's interesting. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do it. I just click on it, I suppose. Okay, that didn't really do what I wanted. Save page as source. Oh wait, where was that? It was like C clone. Oh, nope. Hold on. Um, home clone my plugin. All right. How the heck do I get there? Home clone my plugin. C? Of course, there's no home. Maybe users clone my plugin? Nope. This is something I should know, right? Okay. Right. Maybe I'll just type it in here. C home clone. Uh, home clone my plugin. Oh yeah, this is the stuff that really kills me here. I'm gonna pause this for a second until I figure it out. All right, I'm back. This was ridiculous. So I kind of figured out that the home directory is probably for the user is probably related to Ming W. So I Googled where in is Ming W home directory, and it says it usually creates a home folder under Ming GW MSys blah 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 home user. But this is from 2011. It looks like it might be a little outdated because where I found it was, um, see if we can get here. Here's my C drive. It was in MSys 64 in home, in clone, and there's my plugin. And this really, I don't like the idea of my plugin being inside of the Ming W directory. I just don't see how they're related. But I'm going to leave it there right now just to follow the rest of the tutorial. Let's see how it goes. So I'm back here to my development tutorial under creating panels. I'm going to open this in a new tab. Let's save this page as, it will save it as a SVG. So we're going to put this into, what was that, C, MSys 64 home clone and my plugin, and then put it in the RES, the resource directory. Great. Let's go ahead and close that and get back to the tutorial. Next step is to save this file to res, which I just did, and run Rack SDK folder, helper py something something something. Okay, back to my command line. Where did I leave off on this? Home clone my plugin, which this is not the the Rack SDK folder. Did I put that in C code? Yeah, there it is. Rack SDK. I guess I'm supposed to type that whole thing out. C code Rack SDK slash helper py create module my module res my module dot svg src my module dot cpp. Okay, how about I try that again. I don't see anything wrong with what I typed, but let's just not take any risks here. I'm going to go ahead and copy these. Paste them in. No, still didn't work. No such file or directory plugin.json. What are they talking about? Oh, this is frustrating. Maybe I'm supposed to type this from within my um, modules directory. So that would be what? cdc home. No, where was that? C code? No, that wasn't it, was it? Home clone my plugin. There we go. Let's go back up. Try this again. Oh, okay. This is looking good. I'm just going to hit enter. Tags, whatever. Okay, cool. This looks like it may have worked. So to enable the module, add this to plugin.hpp and add this to the init function in plugin.cpp source file generated at source mymodule.cpp. Source file generated at, I don't know what this is trying to tell me. Is it telling me that it added the source file? I think that's what it said. Here you go, have a source file. And it doesn't really tell you what to do with it, but hopefully the tutorial is going to help us out with that. Let me move this over here real quick. I am going to pull open my editor. I use an Atom editor, so it looks like we're going to have to make some changes. Okay, so it's pulling up my Vox Glitch folder, my actual development environment. We are going to add basically a new project. So I'm going to say add project folder, and I've been, let's see, where the heck is it? Is this in, this is in the MSys64, right? And then we go to home and clone, and then there's my plugin. In fact, I'm just going to open it up here, select folder. All right, great. And there's the plugin JSON. That's good. Okay, it did this for me. It put this in there for me. If you were going to do this yourself, you have to put it in yourself. And after your first module, you'll be doing all this by hand anyhow. Then we got a source directory, and it said to go into plugin.cpp, right? And it said to enable the module, add extern model blah 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 to plugin.hpp. Okay, great. Copy. and it means here. Huh. No, I might have this wrong. Oh, I'm in the wrong file. I'm in the plugin.cpp. Okay, no, don't do that. Let's go back over to the HPP. There we go. So extra model pointer, model by module. So it's already kind of like got that in there for us as an example. I don't know if the Python script put it in there or what, but here's the real one, uncommented out. And then for plugin.cpp, plugin.cpp, and add this copy to the init function in plugin.cpp. And init, I'll add it here. It's basically the same thing as this. Great. Okay, then what? It's telling me to open up my module.svg to hide some things. I'm not going to do that. I don't feel like doing that. Implementing the DSP kernel. A whole bunch of crazy. Great. We don't want to do it. We don't want to think about any of this right now. We'll come back and think about things later. Open the generated source my module source file and add the following member variables to the module class. Okay, fine. Generated source my module. This. And add the following member variables to the module class. Okay, so this is the module class. It's actually a struct, but whatever. And we can put these right up here. Save it. Great. And then these variables store stuff, whatever. I think it's just going to output like some wave or something. Add the following code to the process function, which is called every audio frame, e.g. 44,100 times per second, if that's the sample rate. All right, let's just grab everything here, except the actual process and the actual end bracket. Those are already going to be in there for me. Oops, add them. Process, okay, here we are. I pasted it in. Everything looks good. Save it. Coming back. Compile your plugin with make. If the build succeeds, you can generate a distributable plugin with make dist, which places it in dist. Okay, that's great, but we don't, that's like the long way to do things. This is what we want. You can automatically install the plugin package to your rack folder using make install. That's what we want. Okay, so they want me to do that. Let's go ahead and do that. Make install. Great, no bugs. Like to see that. You should now be able to test your plugin by opening Rack and choosing your module in the module browser. Okay, let's go ahead and open up Rack. Rack 2 free. All right, there we are. Right click. And oh, there it is. Ta-da! Onyx. My module by Onyx. And what is this? A sine wave? So this might hurt my ears. Ah, great. It worked. Okay, that's fantastic. So generally what I do is my plugins, I have things kind of rearranged a little bit. I don't have my plugins in the same place. I have my plugins just along with all the other Rack plugins, and I develop there. But this is fine. You could do all your development just like this. I don't see any problems with it at all, except for keeping track of where everything is, which I do a really poor job of. And to remember to do that export statement at the very beginning of your development, unless you go and set that in, what do they call it? The bash RC, which I think is a Linux term. Um, I guess that concludes this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me suffer through it. And once you got this far, I guess the only suggestions I would make is keep your first couple modules simple. Start with creating a new input, a new output. Um, you could use this my module as your starting template. Uh, you can just cram in a bunch of inputs and outputs onto uh, this front panel until you get more comfortable. And you do eventually want to create your own front panels using Inkscape. It's really not that bad. The hardest thing is to figure out, just take a module like this and make sure that you resize it to the right dimensions, and read the front panel specifications on the um, VCV Rack website uh, if you have any issues. All right, cool. Catch you guys later.